Yo, everybody, Andy here. I am coming at you today with 5 simple things that you can do that will help your child feel more loved and more connected to you, but even more importantly, for you to feel more connected and have more loving feelings towards your child. You ready? Okay, the first one is to water the flowers, not the weeds. I talk a lot about this with the moms and dads I work with. If we are left to our own devices, we will water the weeds. We'll give attention and energy to the things that we don't want to grow, the messy room, the bad attitudes, the homework not being done, etc., etc. So what I want you to do is to first realize that's just part of the human brain. We are looking for the problems because historically speaking, that kept us alive. So that's our tendency. That's our default. We're going to switch that up though, because where your energy goes, it grows. Where water goes, it grows. Where attention goes, it grows. And we don't want the messy bedrooms, the bad attitudes, the homework not getting done, the chores not getting done. We don't want that to grow. What we want to do is retrain our brains to put attention and energy intentionally nurturing the things we actually want to grow. Often what we do is that we give high speed connection and energy when there's a problem. And that is like watering the weeds. That is living into the default ways of our human brain. We want to give high speed connection when things are working. And we want to be noticing, and we're going to have to do this intentionally because our brains are going to want to look for the problems. And we're evolving into a different kind of human that needs to train our brains to look for the things that are working. But this is not going to happen without you intentionally looking for it. You're not pandering to your child. You're not being passive. You're actually being very intentional. You're going to help the things that you want to grow when you put attention there. So do you want more messes and fighting, or do you want more cooperation and participation? Put your energy where you want it to grow. That's number 1. Water the flowers, not the weeds. It's going to change your life. Second, be curious instead of critical. As parents, we are going to make mistakes. Welcome to humanity. I was very upset with myself when I started making mistakes as a parent. We're not robots. We're not going to ever get everything right. We're not even supposed to. I've never met a perfect human or parent. So stop beating yourself up over your mistakes. The sooner you commit to this, the better your life will be and the better your parenting will become. Instead of being critical, I want you to be curious. I want you to think, what happened just now? Why was I so triggered? What's my story about my child? What am I making this mean? And ask yourself productive questions that will actually lead to solutions and create better results for yourself. Be curious. Don't be critical. When you are critical, you are preventing yourself from tapping into the wisdom and knowledge that you possess. You're cutting off your prefrontal cortex, the place in our brain where we think that at the highest quality. We're not able to tap into it because when we're critical with ourselves, our nervous system is triggered and we are in fight or flight mode against ourselves. So we can't learn anything from that space. When our emotions are high, our intelligence is low. So commit to being curious and learning from the experiences that may not have gone the way you wanted them to, instead of critical and beating yourself up, because that is how you will make more change in your life. Number 3, behavior is information, not characterization, meaning behavior does not define them. Just because they do something selfish or disrespectful or rude does not mean they are selfish, disrespectful, or rude. What it means is that their nervous system is in fight or flight mode and they are on the defense. They are trying to protect themselves. Their emotions are high. Their body is trying to keep them safe. Can we see their lashing out at their sister as information? You're going to want to go in and make sure everyone's safe and ask them to stop talking that way. However, you're not going to label the behavior. You're going to see it as information that will allow you to get to the root of what's happening so that you can actually solve the problem. This has happened so many times with my kiddos where they have done something that could be called rude or unkind. And I have to go in and remind, especially a couple of them that have some negative talk in their head about it, that they are not rude. They just did something rude. They are not mean. They just did something mean. At the core, they are good. So behavior is information. Be a detective. Go figure out what it's telling you. Be kind and generous to your child. Rude behavior is just an indication that their nervous system is triggered. And you want to calm that sucker down so that you can bring them back to a place of safety and equilibrium so that they can function at a higher, more kind, compassionate place. Number 4, play more, not less. As adults, we forget that play is important. We get so dang serious. Play mode is being lost in the process, enjoying the process. Work mode, totally focused on the outcome. So with our kids, when we can get into play mode and be present with them, we're going to bond at a deeper level. We're going to have less pushback and resistance. We're going to be able to tap into the highest thinking of our brain, and our emotions are going to be helpful instead of hinder us in our relationship. So play more, not less. Your kids have a natural inclination to play. It's going to be one of the best returns on your investments if you will intentionally sit down and be playful with them. Now, if you're thinking, Andy, I have a teenager. My teenager doesn't play with Legos anymore. Play with them wherever they are willing to play and be present. If that is going on a bike ride, jumping on the trampoline, just sitting next to them and having a conversation, playing a card game, play with them, be present with them, and just see what magic will happen for you, because it's going to happen. Last but not least, when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. We've all heard that a bazillion times. It's completely relevant with parenting. We need to have connection plans. We have diet plans, exercise plans, house plans. How many of us have a plan to intentionally connect with our kids? The difference between healthy relationships and fractured relationships is connection. So you want to be intentionally looking for ways to consistently connect with your child and make a plan for it. Why would we make a plan for food and exercise, but not make a plan to strengthen the most important thing in our life, our relationships with our kids? It will help set them up for success in their life and help them fulfill their potential and eventually launch into the world and do whatever they're meant to do. So create a plan for your kids. Have so much fun doing it. Think of ways you can be totally present with them. Ask them what things they would like to do. Set aside 5, 10, 15 minutes to be totally present with them. Make a plan to connect with them. Let's be honest here. We can't control our kids. We can't force them to connect with us. But if you are showing up and intentionally trying to connect with them, it's going to make a difference. So make a connection plan. All right, that's your 5 things that if you start doing today, it's going to help your kids want to listen to you. It's going to improve your relationships. It's going to make them feel more connected and loved. So I wish you all of the best with your parenting, and I'm here cheering you on.